Okay, so this section is going to be section 8.4, and it is on finding the determinant of a square matrix. So first of all, square matrix, here you have a 2 by 2. That's obviously a square, or a 3 by 3. So a square matrix has to have the same dimensions for its rows and columns. If it doesn't, then you should automatically recognize that you cannot take the square, or find the determinant if it's a non-square matrix. Okay. I'm expecting you to be able to do a 2 by 2 and a 3 by 3 without a calculator. However, towards the end of the video, I am going to show you how to do it with a calculator. Remember, all of these things that we're doing are in order to help us solve a system of equations. So here I have an example where it says to find the determinant. And that would be my matrix that represents all my coefficients, okay, of my particular set of equations. So just remember, that's what all of these things are doing. So how do I find the determinant of this? I'm going to give you a general formula in a second, but what you are doing to find the determinant is I'm taking 2 times 2, and then I'm going to subtract -3 times 1. So 2 times 2 is 4, minus -3 times 1 is -3. So the determinant of this matrix is 7. And to show, it should say the determinant of A is 7. Okay, so this was a 2 by 2 matrix. So if you are finding the 2 by 2 matrix determinant, let's just write okay, so in general, okay, if I have A, B, C, D, the determinant is equal to AD minus BC, okay, of a 2 by 2 matrix. If you have the notation like this, these straight lines mean that they are wanting you to take the determinant of B. Okay, so again, 2 times 2 minus 1 times 4, which should be 0. And that is possible. Determinants can be negative numbers, positive numbers, or 0. They can also not exist if you're trying to take the determinant of a non-square matrix. So again, I think finding the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix is probably pretty easy. So I'm going to get a new piece of paper, and I want to take the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. These ones are a little bit more work. And actually, I'm going to write my general example on here. So what if I have a 3 by 3 matrix? Maybe not. That's not showing up very well. I'll just go to a new piece of paper. So what if I have a 3 by 3 matrix, a general 3 by 3 matrix? So for this, I'm just going to write, okay, the matrix with letters. Okay. So there's my 3 by 3. How do I calculate the determinant of that? Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to start with the first row, first column, which is A. And I'm going to take A times the determinant of, and what's going to happen is, because I'm using A, I'm going to cancel these and cancel these. So I'm going to do the determinant of E, F, H, I. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my, first row, second column, which is B. And I'm going to take B times, here's first row, that'll get crossed off again. Now second column would get crossed off. So it would be D, G, F, I. Okay? And these are going to be numbers, and I'm going to subtract those two numbers. Remember, you subtracted the two things. And then the last thing is I'm going to move over to the first row, third column, which happens to be my C. So, first row, third column. Here I have 4 numbers left, so that's going to become D, E, G, H. And this is different. So here we are subtracting these two. Here we're going to add. And that final number would give me my determinant. Key is you're taking away every number in the first row, starting with first row, first column. Okay? And then we've got subtract, then add. So let's go ahead and do an example. So again, this is a 3 by 3 matrix, so keep those notes handy. The matrix is going to be labeled B, and it is 0, 2, 1, 3, negative 1, 2, 4, 0, 1. And I am wanting to find the determinant of that matrix. So the determinant of B. Again, I'm going to start with this first row. So it's going to be 0 times, if I cross off this row and this column, I would have negative 1, 2, 0, and 1 left over. Well, it doesn't really matter what this is because I'm going to take it and I'm going to multiply it by 0. So that's going to become 0. Then we're going to subtract. Here we've done 0. Now we're going to go across and do 2. So I'm going to have 2 times the determinant of. If I'm taking away the 2, then I'm taking away this second column, first row. So it's the outside 4 numbers this time. So it should be 3, 4, 2, 1. And I'm going to add, third column, which is 1 times, what are the 4 numbers I have left over? This one column is going to be eliminated. This row is going to be eliminated. So it's going to be 3, negative 1, 4, 0. Okay. Now you just need to go back and calculate the determinants. Again, I want to point out that I'm taking, yes, the determinant of the smaller matrix, but it's multiplied times 0. So this is just going to be 0. Then minus 2 times whatever this is. So 3 times 1 is 3. Minus 4 times 2 is 8. Then plus 1 times whatever the determinant of the smaller one is. So 3 times 0 is 0. Minus 4 times 1 is negative 4. Okay. Now it's just a matter of simplifying. So I've got 0 minus 3 minus 8 is negative 5 times 2, negative 10 plus 1 times 0 minus a negative 4, 4. So the determinant of that whole thing should be 14. Okay? So again, if you're not sure, watch through this again. But again, for a 3 by 3, which is the last one I'm going to expect you to be able to do by hand, if it's any bigger than a 3 by 3, I'm going to let you use a calculator, which is what I'm going to show you next. But 3 by 3, you take each entry in the first row, okay, 0, 2, 1, and you make a smaller matrix 2 by 2 with what would be left over if you crossed out that entry's row and column. And then you have to remember to follow this pattern where you subtract and then you add. Okay? So, let's figure out this. Let's make sure we're right. So we got 14. This is where get your graphing calculator, and I'm going to go in, and you want to put that matrix into your calculator. So there's my graphing calculator. Okay, and I want to start by inputting, if I can ever get the screen to not be so bright, putting green paper behind it start help. Okay, so while I'm messing with my screen, you could be inputting that last matrix, matrix B. So I'm going to go to second, and then matrix, which is the button above x is equal to negative 1. So you want to hit second, and then x to the negative first power. It has the word matrix. Then here, I'm going to go over to edit. And it doesn't matter. Let's go. I'm going to do C. No matter where you put it in, it's a 3 by 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in my entries. So it was 0, enter, 2, enter, 1, enter, 3, enter, negative 1, enter, 2, enter, 4, enter, 0, enter, 1, enter. So there's my matrix. Again, you're going to want to make sure you put it in correctly. Okay. Then I'm going to go back and quit. So second, quit. And then I want to go back to the matrix menu. So second, matrix. I'm on names right now. I want to go over to math. That allows me to do anything I want with matrices. So scroll over to math, and if you notice, the first thing is DET, which is the abbreviation I used for determinant. So I'm going to hit enter, and I have DET. Now I want to go back and select the matrix that I want the determinant of. So second matrix, and I put mine in C. I just want to scroll directly down to C. I don't want to edit it. I'm just trying to select it. Hit enter. C should pop up there. Hit enter, and my determinant is 14. So you should be able to calculate the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix by hand and a 3 by 3 matrix by hand, as well as use your calculator to check your answers, or use your calculator to do the determinants of some bigger matrices.